Welcome to Factorio Space Exploration. My name is Nilaus and we are continuing on this journey for world conquest and domination in this very advanced mod pack. And in this episode we have a very specific target, and that should be an interesting episode, I hope. So when we look at our space base, we got our little space base going last time, and it's just chugging along. It's getting a little bit of the science here, but it cannot go any further than this space science pack. What we really need is we want to, if we look at the tech tree, to see what is it we really want. We want logistic system. That is so freaking annoying that it's hidden so deep in the tech tree, but it is what it is. So we need to get the utility science pack. The utility science pack requires solar panels, not a problem. Efficiency module, not a problem. Cryonite rod, oh dear. Machine learning data. Machine learning data is something we can do in orbit, and cool thermo fluid is something we can do in orbit. Here we do the machine learning, so that's not too bad of a thing. It's just some factories in orbit. And the cooling is also, we need some cooling fluid, and then we need to cool it. There we go. So that's it. But the big issue here is going to be the cryonite rod. So we have to look at the cryonite rod. How do we get cryonite? Well, there's only one way to get cryonite, and that is frozen cryonite crystals. And it comes from mining cryonite. So where can you find cryonite? Well, luckily we've launched some rockets and we are out here. If we, no, there's a universe view. There's a better view of this, right? It's this one. Yes. So this is what we have discovered so far. Couldn't I drag this? No, I'm just, okay, I'll do this. So if we look at all of these locations and just look at, so there's a little bit of cryonite on this planet. There's nothing on Novus. There's nothing in orbit. There is something, but if we really want to get somewhere, then here, Boreas, 100% or 100% of that. So this is very dominant, the location. It's a cold planet, Boreas, yeah, surprise, surprise. So we're going to go to this planet, have a look, and see what this has to offer. We have a little bit of water here. Oh, funny how there's a light circle around my mouse pointer. We have some copper, we have some stone, we have some iron up here. We have some coal. This coal will be our fuel. And we have some beryl. I don't know what that's for yet. And then we have the cryonite. This is why we're coming here. But also there's very little oil, but there's actually 3 oil here. So we do have a little bit of oil that we can get. And so the journey for us today is we need to get to this planet. That means setting up a small base of operation at this planet and have this planet make the process. Let's go back here, make a process, and that process will be the cryonite process. Here we have researched it, so I now want to get cryonite rods, because if we look at the science part, here, it takes 8 cryonite rods, so it's kind of significant for one utility pack. So we're going to need a lot of that. So let's figure out how that gets done. This is an industrial furnace. So let's make an industrial furnace that does this. Do I have industrial furnace, or did I put them in here in preparation? Oh, I had the foresight to put it in. I have actually prepared a little bit in advance, so we can get going rather easily. But we do need one of these furnaces to show us what it is. This can make cryonite. It takes 2 powder. It takes 2 powder and 2 cryonite crystals. If we look at the cryonite crystals here, they are done in a chemical plant there, and that's a cryonite crystal which comes from 4 cryonite powder. So I am going to design this in a way that I will assume that I produce 1 red belt of cryonite. That's the assumption. The raw cryonite, and then I have to take, that's 30 cryonite. Then I'm gonna take let's say if we had 10 cryonite, I would take 8 of it to make it into 2 cryonite crystals, because then the remaining 2 would go in here, the remaining 2 powder plus the 2 cryonite crystals there. So for every 10 we can get 1 rod. So if we have 30 per second, then we can get 3 per second plus whatever productivity we choose to throw in here. And that means we should do some kind of design back home here, just to make sure that we know how much of everything we want. We're also going to take some of these, some of that as well. So the idea here is, let's see, can I also do, I need to make a little bit more of this. There. All right, so let's make, it was 2 of these. Crystal powder. And if I now get a belt here, and these 2 will go into, it was the furnace there. This one will do here. And if we now say that's going to go in, that's going to go in, that's going to go in, this will need steam inbound. We can just take that from our power plant. So that's going to be like a simple thing here. Then we're also going to get like a simple thing here, I guess. And then we have water coming out. Oh no, this has to be somewhere else, because I also need an outbound there, outbound here. And then we just take from here to here, from here to here. And then we have these consistent lines here. There we go. And that means we need heavy oil as well. That's why it's lucky that we have a little bit of oil. This just takes the cryonite inbound, or the cryonite powder inbound, and then makes it into crystals. Crystals go directly in here. And if we look at this in the context of, how's that? There's a slight deficit of cryonite crystals. So what if we, let's say, slow this down like this? Now there's a slight surplus. And I think we can get a level 2 here. Oh, not 2 of those. I think I want, oh, how does that work? That's a very minuscule deficit here, but that's basically a ratio. This is basically a ratio working at this, and then I can just take these 2 in here, and I'm going to use a lot of this because I want things to use as little power as possible. So this is actually working at ratio, and if we look at this consumption of here, so if we have 9 of these, that gets us, consumes 30 per second, which is a full red belt, and it also needs 3 crude oil. So then what happens when we actually get this done? What are we going to do? Well, the answer is that we are going to bring, did I also put that in somewhere? Yes, we're going to bring it into here, because this one can actually shoot cryonite. So this is why I'm bringing some delivery cannon shells, so that we can shoot 200 times. We can also bring some barrels, so that we can also request stuff in, so we can make more ammo if need be. Because all the ingredients for the ammo, for the capsule, you can't launch the capsules, but you can launch the ingredients for the capsules. So copper, we get that on planet. Low density explosives and heat shield. We can just launch those and get them in here, so we can make more. So we'll also set it up so that we can actually make additional of the capsules if we need it. Don't think we need it, but we could. Good. So that's also the plan. So that means we now have a design here that we want to copy, and I need to make absolutely sure that I get these things in. Just get that. Oh, we also probably need more of these explosives, because there's probably something there. And I have just stocked up on power poles, on belts. You know what? Belts. I don't feel confident about the belts. I think I want more belts. Let's get that up to 1500. We're going to do a lot of belting. And definitely also more here. So let's get to 200. We want to make sure that we have enough for this. And then I've also prepared the rocket. I am also going to take a cargo landing pad. So the first one will be a crash landing, but then we'll at least have a landing pad so we can land there. I'm going to bring in a cargo silo. I'm going to bring in some accumulators, because this one is taking a lot of power, and we don't really have a lot of power. So if we bring a lot of accumulators, maybe that's a good idea. Then I bring 20 of the packed cargo segments so that we can get back again. These will have to be in my inventory so that they don't break, because as we land, we're going to lose a lot of this stuff. So some of the more valuable stuff that we really don't want to lose, that we can't really replace, should not be in here. But the stuff that we can survive with it being destroyed is fine to leave it in here. And that just means that we are actually ready to go. We have put in a lot of fuel, but probably not enough fuel, but we have a little bit of oil so we can get there. That means we are now ready to launch into the next base. Oh, we kind of missed the fast transport belt. So let's wait for the fast transport belt to get here, and then we'll fly to the new planet. We are now ready to launch. We're launching to Boreas. We have 1 capsule, we have 10 segments, we have a lot of fuel. It takes a lot of fuel to get there. We haven't really filled this up, but this cargo is going to crash, so we don't really want to leave some things that we can't really replace, like cargo rocket segments, for example. We could leave some accumulators in here in order to get that one in here in our inventory. That's probably a little safer. We can also probably make this, so we can get those back out. And let's see if there's anything else that we can live without. If that crashes, that one can crash. There we go. We're ready to launch. Wish me luck. Here we go. I wonder what I forgot. Probably something I forgot. There's always something you forget. Like, oh, I see what I forgot. All the underground belts. All right, hurry up and get in here. All right, we missed some underground belts. Will they get in here? Oh, they do actually get in here. Okay, we haven't really disappeared yet from that. Okay, so we got a little bit of the underground belts. They were a little bit slower. Oh, look at the crash. Look at the crash. Huh. Oh, shoot, that's bad. This is not at all where we wanted to be. Huh. Well, first things first, let's build a big box of goodies so we can store things that are here. And then I want to just take all this out. So what we need to do first is figure out, collect everything and figure out what the damage is like. Every time we pick up these, there's some scrap that would also be useful. Right now it's just junk, but let's pick up everything and figure out what the damage is. So in all honesty, we didn't really lose much. We started with 1.4 of the fuel and we have 1.3 now. We have 160 of the steam engines or steam engines, and we now have 157. We lost 1 of the steam, what are they called? Steam engines. We lost 3 of those, and we lost just a few of one of the boilers. So not really a big deal. We're gonna, however, pick up all of this, and we're gonna pick up all this, and then we're gonna pick up all this, and the rest we'll kind of leave here for a bit, I guess. Yeah, and we also have some cargo pods. So what I'm gonna leave this here for now, and then I probably need like a little bit of fuel here. Yeah, I can't even get 1 fuel. You're gonna need a little bit of fuel here, so let me do that. There. Because then we can just fly instead of hearing the crunch crunch. And I want to go back to this location because it's, I think it's a nicer location to set up shop. Where is it? It's all the way over here, but that's where we want to go. This is what we're supposed to be on this planet. And the other one place also has water, but this is sort of the starting location, so it has all the things we want at the same time, or right next to each other. First thing we want to do is, of course, set up a little shop for our power plant here. This is going to be where we start with the power, and we will just make some coal power, and I think I'm just going to make it this location. So let's make some basic coal power here. So we built the first little thing. This is the power plant, but of course it doesn't work because because we need water to get the steam, and we need power to get the steam. So there's a little bit of catch-22. So what we need actually to build this one, the very first, the burner turbine generator, to just generate enough power to keep these two going. And that's going to take a little bit of effort because I actually had to get this, and I have a single one here, and that will get some coal inbound, and then I will get that inbound. So this is kind of ironic that we have to smelt a little bit of iron, because what we also do need, we need to tip a little bit of iron, a little bit of stone, and a little bit of copper while we're here as well, so that we just have a little bit of production. So if we want to handcraft something, we have the iron and copper available for this. Once we have these going, that's 6, then we can make it into, well, we're going to need a little bit more, 7, 8, 9. And this part, just a power plant, I'm making it into these fuel containers. And I think that's a good idea to do, because that gives us 10, or fuel. It gives us 10% additional. So we want 10% additional power if we can do that. So this one, just build it here. And just get some of this coal inbound. That means these are now pumping. They're working fine. They're going in here. And of course they're not really, there we go, coal gets put into all of these, and now I can then get this signal here, or this connected to the rest of the power plant. There we go. So now it's one big power network. So we've solved power. Although I would say that it would be nice if I could just do this thing here and just place it maybe like that. That would be nice. Then we at least have a big power plant going with all the stuff that we brought along. And we just need a little bit more water inbound. That's also not going to be a big problem. So let's get this one going as well. So adding another one wasn't super simple. First of all, we're missing 3 of the engines. Second of all, we used all of our inserters already. Third, we don't have enough power poles. So what we need to do is replace our wooden power poles, because there's no wood on this planet, with some other power poles. And the funny thing here is that if we... there's not enough power to actually keep my roboports going. So as soon as the roboports die, then we just don't have an option. So what I need to do is do this part. And then just have the robots make it ourselves. Where are the miners? There. And then I built it here. And then we just let these miners go. There you go. That's how we are going to build things generally. I'll also just take a few of these, so we get these as cheap as possible. And this is going to be like a basic setup for us moving forward. So we have built that for iron. We're going to build the same thing for copper. And now we built the next part here. This is the copper being built. And we just extend it out so we have a roboport network. And then everything should be built. And there is one inserter here. That's kind of the wrong way. There we go. And we have now built this, and it's working. And let's grab this out because I don't want these here, and I don't want that one here. There we go. Now these are obviously not powered, but now we have iron and copper. Good. Now what else do we need? Well, we also have an absolute amazing, I mean awful amount of stone. So let's build this and make it into a refinery. Let's build the refinery like this. Oh, someone was in the way. Or the recycler. This recycler is going to recycle here, which also gives us a little bit of this oil that we need. That's great. Is it? It kind of is. Kind of is great. Let's get that one here, here, and here. So I will be putting all of my scrap into that box. And then I'm just going to be shoveling in. And that already has stuff outbound. What are we going to do with this outbound? Well, I think I have like an idea that's kind of suspicious. It's a little bit weird. So what if I just put it in here? And then I put it into some boxes of things. That means sometimes it's going to be stone. Most of the time it's going to be stone. But it also could be everything else. Now I'm putting stone in, and that's just kind of stalling all of this. But eventually it'll be converting all the stone, and then it'll start working on something else. So this is going to be fine, I think. And then it'll gradually take all of the scrap out. Cool. And it'll also make some oil eventually. So I need to make a little box of oiliness. Here we go. So we can now tap this oil for later. So what have we done now? Now we've done the power, we've done some iron and copper and some stone and some scrap production, and we need to get some oil available as well to get in here. Oh, the first thing we want to do when we land on a new planet is first of all send up a landing pad. Let's make you here, and then also make a new launcher there. And then I also need to go out and find the stuff that I left out here, but that's a different journey. So we do have 3 of these, or at least 3 of those. Let's see if we can upgrade 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can upgrade a few of these to higher levels. Do we want that though? I really like that for upgrading on the oil facility, because they're super slow. And this one we can just upgrade, but the small electric motors, we're gonna have to handcraft some small electric motors. It sucks. Coronal mass ejection novice orbit in 1 day. Okay. So our oil is established, and it's just chugging along with good modules in here. Of course, it's going to take more power, but that's just the way it is. It's going to be brought back here, and it's ready to be done something with. I have a little bit of storage in each one. What I'm also going to do is I am just going to be using this opportunity to, there we go, get that going here. So we now have a metric of how much we have. Storage, this is ready. This is getting put in here. And also copper and iron, this has been built, and we now want to go into the next part, and that is getting this one done. Oops, good thing I didn't do it like this. That one, and that one, and maybe that one. Yes, and let's jump out of this mode. I'm just going to blow this one up, and that means I just put in some robots. Let's see if they can build this. Should be fine. I don't know how... Oh, we're missing a few power poles. Let's put some more power poles in here. And that gets us some storage here, some power storage. You can say, what's the point of having power storage when we also have the fuel? Well, we are going to need some power once in a while. How much we got left? Oh, that's basically just half. Okay, then just double it. If in doubt, double it. And just explode things here, explode things, pick that up. And pick these up. Because they can't be picked up by themselves. Because there's no storage anywhere, so I have to do that for them. Oops. And yeah, that was a little bit of a problem. Yeah. I think that works pretty well. Let's get some more power poles in here. There we go. And we still have some work done here. And let's see. Okay, we also need to get a place where they can store the crap that they don't have anymore. And is it within the power network? Yes, it's still within the network. And we have 12 of those. So let's just, we have lots of power. So power is not going to be a problem. Or, I mean, iron is not going to be a problem. Power is also not a problem. And... oh, the copper. Okay, let's get that done. So the power battery is complete. We're going to need this for not to save on coal, because it won't save any coal, but it will work when we need this one to charge up, and it takes 50 megawatt for each shot. So we'll rather use the batteries instead of just draining our entire base. Right, but what we need to do now is we need to work on the oil. Oil is not really going to be a big deal. Well, it is, but... let me see this. We're going to take the one that is mostly focused on heavy oil. Are we though? I think we might want this one instead, because we really don't need a lot of heavy oil. So, I'm a little bit in doubt about that, because it is the reason why we're here is heavy oil, and the reason why we need this is heavy oil. But on the other hand, if we don't have, or if once we have the heavy oil and we don't really need a lot of heavy oil, then we don't really, yeah, it's not really that important. Here, this one also needs to be powered. So can I get a power pole here? Yes. And then some small power poles. There. That gets powered. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Water comes in. Oil comes in. Great. Should we have this productivity module? I think we should, because this is a short supply. Even though we build up a little bit of storage, then it's going to be disappearing. Now, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that all of this part, no, this has to be fuel plant. There, all of this part, you're just going to go in there. Done. And this one is consuming ridiculously fast, so no problem, 40 per second. Then I'm also going to have here that one. You are going to be here. Yep. But that also has to go into the next thing, which will be the light oil plus the solid fuel, which means these have to be putting in here. And the solid fuel plus light oil becomes there, right? That's just a 1-to-1. And I don't care about the ratio. Well, I do care about the ratio, but I don't care about the ratio. Yeah, I'll even put it on that side, because then I can sort of move it over to this location. Is this going to be enough How fast is this processing? It's 1 per 1 second, but it also has like a lot of other stuff, so maybe I want to do it like this. And you can put into both, but also from here, that is where we are going to get a big box. Let's see if we can make a bigger box. That's a strong box. Let's do that. Because someone has a lot of fuel here. So let's put that in here. There. So that can go in and become part of it. That means we should have... let's see. I'm thinking if this is a good idea. Probably not. No, it's not a good idea. I'd much rather have this storage. Something like this. I know it doesn't really matter that it's here, but we'll keep it. That one. In and in here. And then just place, place, and place. And that should be working. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of pressure, so this is really not a big deal. So let's tap some power poles here, 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 and we also have that one. Well, I am thinking we could do something like this. Yeah, well, that's just gonna have to be this location. No, it'll be at this location, because then I can go, water goes up here, goes here, and there. And then I'm gonna need, but first we have to take this out, because that has to go into that box, which is a really awful place because it now intersects with a mining location, which it never should be, but it does. That one goes straight in, and this one, it's one off. It's because it's, of course it's one off. I'd really like it to be here, because then I could put that one here. That would be brilliant and look awesome and all that stuff, right? But then it doesn't intersect here, so there's a little bit of everything that just has to be moved. That one here, maybe this water goes up here. Yep, water's connected. That one goes in, and then I can do this part. And then that works. But I need to make sure that it flows the other way. It should definitely not flow up. So, put a pump. There. So this should be primarily pumping it down here, and this is only going to be an overflow. So at this point, I'm just going to do that. That's on everything. It's pretty absurd, isn't it? Here. So these are working. They're just chugging along, and presumably we are not going to be able to keep up with all this stuff. This one's not working. This one is just getting it. I want to get the maximum output of the oil as much as possible. So this is going to be how it is. Let's leave it like this, and it'll slowly fill this one up. I have a note, have the cargo suctioned. This one will go back to Novice, and that's 89,000. So that'll take quite a while. What I can also do is I can make a little, call the hack, but out and in. Get that connected. This will be unpacking. Unpacking. There we go. That will now unpack and get us the cargo rocket segments we need. I should have 20. So I should have those coming in. Yes, they're filling up. Perfect. So this needs to go. Now there's only one thing left, and that's the one thing that we were trying to do, and that's we just needed the infrastructure first. So let's go mine some cryonite. So the first thing is we set up the mining operations. Let's get that out here. And this is probably not going to be able to, well, it's definitely keeping up with what we need, but it's also just way overstacked, and we're not being able to get all of the, what do you call it, the modules in here, because we just don't have enough modules. But everything got built, and what are we missing? We are missing 140 of those. Yeah, I thought I brought a lot, but I certainly did not bring enough. But this one should be under the curtain circumstances getting 51 of those. So we're definitely getting enough for one belt, and I just don't want more than one belt, so this is just perfectly fine. I'll pick that up, and we will be picking this one up once all these are out. And then we go back, and then it's time for build the design that we had completed back on Novice, and then figure out how to get that set up in a reasonable place. Let's have a look, and I think that this is a good place, so might just have to. This is not water, so let's build it up here. The first step is to take it from the raw materials, raw cryonite, and then put it into a pulverizer. So let's pulverize things. This will be pulverizing the cryonite. Good. And we're going to make a few of these there, and I'll put some on the other side as well. These are unfortunately a little annoying setup or sort of size. Yeah, and because of the size they have there and there, we'll need a lot of these power poles. And are they powered? Nope, but they will be powered once I hook it up here. Then we need the big inserters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Do we need double? I don't know. We definitely need double outbound. And then they need outbound. That's going to be on this belt and on this belt outbound. No need to waste belts, so we'll just get these two. 1, 2, there, here, and then I'm going to use this as a method of getting these 3 on the inside belt, and then the other 3 here on the outside belt. That one, these 2, and somewhat inbound, and here, and to the left. Why is this one not working? Oh yeah, we just needed the recipe, and the recipe is done. And they will now go in here and be filtered into. I need cryonite moving forward. Here. There we go. That's the cryonite. And then this will have to be dealt with some other way. And that is really not. Oh yeah, that's because it's not actually the right thing. It's cryonite powder. Cool. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, and what do we need this for? Well, I don't know. Glass might be a thing we could do. I think we want to do glass because that's something we don't make. So let's do this one as glass. In, and here and here. And I'm deliberately making a lot of extra room for this. Because if it goes past this point, then there is one thing that you can always throw things into, and that is landfill. And you're going to go out, and you will be having a landfill location, because that takes 200. So yes, that should be fine. And we got the sand. And what else? Nothing else? Okay, so this is now done. Get it up here. And then let's start working on the design that we were looking for before. And it will be 1, 2. These will be making crystals, and then I will need to have a here. And this will also definitely be as something we make. Oh, hold on. I need to start making a lot more inserters. Oh no. Yep, let's make a lot more inserters. All right, so we are continuing on this one and making inserters as we go along, and I will be. What is the next one? That was the furnace. Yes, the furnace. Let's make that here. This furnace is going to make cryonite. I'm going to take it this way, and you're going to be just putting out on an innocent little belt here. That's the size of this block. Yeah. And I will now need to get stuff inbound. That's going to be water will be going outbound, and this will be going up here. That's here, and that's there. So now power poles, I'll put one here. Okay. I'll put one here, and I'll put one there. There. That's pretty good. And powered. Great. So this is going to be the setup. And I need 9 of this. So, oh, wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And once I have 9, then I need to put it into a box. That's kind of important. 1 box here. And this box will then be the one that I want to launch into orbit there. And that goes here. And I also need to make sure that I get some kind of signal of please don't send any more of this into orbit. So I should definitely have a signal receiver. And that's coming in here. And this signal receiver is going to have a name. Let's call it Boreas Shooty, as suggested on Livestream. That was a great, perfect. And that's going to be coming in here. Here. And stop that one as well. Good. It's not receiving anything, but I want it to only send when it receives a signal that is, this one is equal to 1. Technically, it should just be greater than 0, to be perfectly honest. So when we receive that, this will be unloading in here, and then it will be shooting. So that's also a thing. Then I want to do the same thing on this side. And I will also be getting you up here. Same condition. Copy, paste. Yes. And this is where I'm going to put all of my rockets here. Right. I need to launch this one, or at least start building it. So I'm going to build this here. I'm going to set you in here. And then all the stuff that we think we're going to need for this build. This is going to be needed. This is needed. Belts are needed. Undergrounds are needed. Long-handed, short-handed. Lots of this. And I don't know. Let's just unleash it and see what we're missing. We're missing... Oops. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see something we're missing. We should have... Yep. I should have built this one first. And this one will be 1, 2, 3. And then I will also get the speed modules. Ooh, I need better speed modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's going to take a little bit of time. And as this progresses further up, get that powered. There's a little bit of mess up here. And yeah, that one get built. So we have like one consistent build, but we also need a ton of pipes. So let's see what we're missing. We're missing pipes, and we need underground pipes. Those are just iron things. And then we also need the speed modules. But once those are done, at least the first speed module is done. Let's get the first speed module done, and then we can at least get that. What we can do in the meantime is nothing really. So we'll just wait until this one gets done. So this one's almost built, just a few missing 1, 2, 3 modules. They are in progress. So what we can do in the meantime is here. I'm now getting the heavy oil. The heavy oil was stored here, but it's gone. And it is coming from up here, but I have constrained it at this location so that this will not be going unless I have 2,000 in storage, and I don't have 2,000 in storage. So I'm monitoring that storage. This up here, this oil refinery could go up faster, because if we're seeing, we're actually up to 27,000, so it's actually accumulating. So I could maybe just, you know, if I wanted to get it a little bit faster, we could go there. If we look at the content of the box, there's 63,000 fuel, and I need, was it 89 or something? I need 89,000, so it's getting there, but it's very slow. We've also just put all the rest of our fuel. This one's working, so now we have fuel coming in here. Yes, the only thing we don't have is here. Why is that? That's because we need to get one of these locations. Just any one of this has to be reconfigured. I think this one is the best one to reconfigure. There we go. You are going to be our new fuel production facility here. Or steam production. There, and lo and behold, I have run out again. Damn, run out of this really quick. Good thing we can just handcraft some more. Here we go. Oh, that got built by the network. That's fun. Alright, good. So, that means now the steam is coming in, but water is not going out again. So that's important. And here's another important aspect. If I'm getting it from here, then it has to be the same one that I am prioritizing here. So, I will need to be... You will be lower priority and you will be higher priority inbound, right? Let's get it from here. And yes, I will do this will be lower priority. And I need a power pole. There we go. This will only do when water in the box is over 2000. Yeah, so it pushes up to 2000. Then I get all the residual water that is now filling up, I hope. There, and so that pumps the water in because otherwise it jams when it's not going. Look at that, it's actually working. Sweet. Now nothing goes in here because we have not sent a signal that it should be there. I will also just switch it on because then it'll start consuming power. Really? Why are you not consuming power? Item ingredient short. It's not payload empty, so it's not even taking power even if it doesn't have the payload. Then I kind of feel that maybe I should have this going directly up here and then take this out and just replace it with something. So that just fills this up here. And then once the payload is ready, I hope that it starts working. Or maybe it's because it doesn't have a destination. So I'm going to set it to Nilaus orbit. Then I'm going to select it. Oh, there we go. It fills up. Then I'm going to select the location up here. And I'm just going to make it into this box. It's not going to be the great one, but it's going to work here. I love the fact that there's a little preview so we can see where we're hitting. Very nice feature. And this is chugging along. It's working. It'll fill up with full storage. And it will launch whenever it gets a signal to launch. So that is good. Let's see what we have. That one gets built. That one gets built. And this one. I will take you out. And I will take this also here. This is excellent. So we now have this production going. It is not running full. It's gradually working. And it should be producing... Well, how much should it be producing? There we go. That is basically even. So it's 3.6 of these per second. So that adds up. And what we then want to do is we can simply just enable it right now. What we could do is we can cheat a little bit. Not really, but we can send a signal. We'll turn the signal off. And we will... yeah. I was still thinking whether we can actually do it correctly, but it's not so easy to do correctly because then we can have to get to orbit. So I'm going to be taking this. It is now turned off. And therefore I also need a little light here just to see that it is turned off. That one. And this one will be when that is greater than 0, then it'll turn on. Cool. So when I turn it on, we should be starting to see that it shoots away stuff. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Come on. Yes. So now it builds it. It'll shoot. And then we should see the power network. This is massive spike on the power network, which is good, but that just should... Oh, production is actually just keeping up. All right, so never mind. So if the production can keep up, that's great. But we do have the accumulator charge as being something that that will absorb most of what is coming in. Great. And this one will just keep being active. That means every time we build up, then we can launch another rocket. Cool. That is pretty damn good. And so let's recap this planet. We landed, we built some power network, or we done mined some coal, which is running out, but we can get more coal from out here, or we could get fuel. Also coal down here, and there's a lot of coal up here. So there's plenty of coal. We can just build it in if we need it. We built some power. That's the first thing we need to do. Then I built a little bit of iron and copper mining and a little bit of stone here, so that we have those ingredients should we need to build some emergency stuff, like, you know, lots and lots of annoying things to build here. Then we, after that, we built the oil part because we need to make sure that we can actually get back. This one is almost done. Let's have a look at where we are. We are at 85, so we're really close to launch. Damn, this is just fitting so perfectly. We're gonna end up by launching us back into there. This one is chugging along and just converting everything into fuel, and just getting all the fuel we have and keep pushing it in here and keep pushing it into, you know what, I'll just do this for sort of future reference, because that will allow us to have a 100,000 stacked up. And that means if we land here, we will actually, since there'll be many hours of processing, it'll probably fill up with 100,000, so we can leave immediately as well. And then we built the stuff that we came here for, building all of this cryonite. Cryonite gets crushed into powder. Powder gets made into crystals. Crystals plus powder gets cryonite. Cryonite goes up here, and that gets launched once in a while. And do we see how many times it has crafted already? And let's see. Has this one... Does it say how many crafts it has? Probably products finished. So it's shot 3 times. Let's go up into our novice orbit to confirm that it has actually reached the correct destination. It has indeed. Great. And we have 600 into our logistics network. Let's look at this. Cryonite rod, 600. Great. So we actually have that, and that will be something we can then use for the next episode, where we're going to focus on getting the logistics system working by getting the next space science going and building a little bit of expansion to our space base, maybe a little space bus, I don't know, space train, space bus. It's all going to be good. So if you liked any of these builds, and if you want to grab hold of the blueprints, then I am making these available to all my patron supporters. So if you're a patron supporter of Templar rank or higher, you can get access to all the save games. So you can just jump in here, take some blueprints, or play onwards from this location, whatever you want. And you will also help support the channel, because that is very much appreciated. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, pledging on Patreon, and coming watching our live streams. Live streams are usually on Sundays and sometimes on Wednesdays if there has been a particular activity during the live stream. So thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.